Hey guys, today I want to talk about hobbies in the Philippines. But before I talk about that, I want to talk about the live stream. We were supposed to do the live stream last night. We kind of missed that a little bit, but we're going to do that again next week. I had some company over, so I really couldn't do it with them in the house. It was kind of impossible for me to live stream from inside the house during that time. But I'll either try to do a makeup during the week or we'll just do it next Saturday. Okay, so sorry for that, guys. But we will do one definitely next Saturday. And we're going to try to do one, maybe even during the week sometime we'll try to do it. Okay, at the same time. And I might even do another one in the morning sometime at the same time that we usually do it. So it'll just be 12 hours difference. Okay, but I'm not sure what days I'm going to do that or whatever. But it'll be a surprise, okay? But today I want to talk a little bit about hobbies in the Philippines. A lot of us in the Philippines, we have a lot of extra time. I usually don't have a lot of extra time. I'm taking phone calls about SRVs, taking phone calls in the morning and at night. I usually like to set aside time for my phone calls. I just want to touch on this a little bit because a lot of you guys have been trying to contact me. And a lot of you guys got to work with me, okay? A lot of guys say, well, I'm sleeping during that time. And I put myself out and, to answer calls. And I usually say between 5 and 10 p.m. is when I take the phone calls. And a lot of people say, well, I sleep during that time. And you really got to put yourself out for me because I like to have my day free. Otherwise, my day is taken up with phone calls all day long, okay? And I already answer tons of emails and comments already the way things go. And I just ask people to work with me. Most people, 95% of the people will work with me. But some people, if they want their things answered, they're going to have to work with me, okay? I ask that. I tell very few people that you can call me during the day. You can try me during the day and I might answer. If I tell you that you can try me during the day, then you can try me during the day. And I have your number already in my phone list, so I'll see your name pop up or whatever. If I told you to try to call me during that time, it's fine, because I'm expecting your call, or I told you to call during that time so I have more time to kind of go through everything with you or what have you. But I just want to put that out there. But let's get on to hobbies today, okay? I just bought a remote control helicopter, and I know a lot of you guys are saying, well, Steve, that'll be crashed by the end of the week. It probably will be. I tried flying it already, and when you first start those things up, they take off on you. Well, mine flew up in the air, hit a coconut tree, and, it was that quick. But it didn't wreck it, fortunately. So, but I got it kind of figured out what I have to do to master that thing, and it's to take it off slowly, have it take off slowly and then go from there. I've dealt with the small toy ones before, and I flew some inside of a building before. When I worked at the high school back in Lawrence, Massachusetts, I used to fly it around in the cafeteria because the cafeteria had a ceiling. It was probably like about, 50 feet high or more, 60 feet high, it seemed like, and you could fly it all over the place in there, and it was awesome to fly a helicopter, and it was a lot of fun too. But anyway, what I did was I used to practice in there. So I got a little bit of practice, and I'm hoping some of that stuck with me because this one here seems like a little bit more difficult. And it's a big chopper, which kind of gives it some more stability. And it also has a gyro effect too, which kind of helps the helicopter a little bit. So it keeps it more stable and gives it more stability and everything. But it's a great hobby, guys, for us to toy with while we're over here in the Philippines. And I tell people, guys, have more than one hobby, something that you can go out and do with the other guys. And we have the new expat here, Kenny. And Kenny and I never knew he was into RC stuff. And I just happened to mention about getting some RC submarines, which we could probably go out to like the pool at Tenza Oasis or whatever and use it in the pool just to play up there and just fire it around at the pool and, have some fun. And it sounds like it would be a blast to do, But I mean, I wanted to get a submarine and I also wanted to get the helicopter. He likes to do like the vehicles too, which I'm not too much into the vehicles. I mean, that's not as fun to me for some reason. I'm not sure why. And they have the boats that you can do also. I wouldn't mind getting into some of the remote control military ships and things like that you can get. You can get everything from an aircraft carrier on Lazada to a destroyer to the Bismarck to the Yamamoto, all that stuff. They have it all on there, I think. I think I even saw the Yamamoto on there. There was a whole bunch of RC controlled stuff on there. If you really, really want to get into them, some of them even have firing torpedoes and things like that. I'm not sure where I saw those, but it wasn't on, maybe it was on Lazada I saw that, or it might have been on eBay. But they have all different types. They get really, really high end on some of these things, and some of them get really expensive. But some of these cheap copters, if you're going to get one for doing outside, you want to get one that's fairly big because the winds can take them. The bigger it is, the less likely the wind is to affect it. And you don't want to be flying it around on a windy day because the wind is just going to grab it. If you get a good gust of wind, it's just going to grab it, take off, and smash it. And you don't want that. And once you start get to the end of your blades, it's hard to find those blades when you're buying them off of Lazada, because some of these places, they don't sell extra blades, they don't sell extra batteries, things like that. Some of these companies, you can't get replacement parts as easy. It's best to get the things that, buy them from a store somewhere or from an RC control store. And there are some in the Philippines. There's some of these RC places that you can go to where you can get drones and things like that. Get them from those so they can repair your copter or whatever you have, your drone, and they can repair it and fix it for you and give it back to you, and they just charge you whatever. And some of these get really expensive, and I don't recommend starting right off the bat with a really expensive one. I tell people, get the cheap ones, okay? See if you can work with that, and if you can work with that, then you can probably work your way up to the other ones. But I've seen people that bought the expensive ones first, and it's not the way to go. You really need to master these things, and each one controls differently than the next one. So you buy one, it controls easy, and then you think, oh, I'm all set for the big one now. But the big ones might not be as controllable as the smaller ones, the cheap ones. It's really kind of funny that the way that they work, and some of them are. But each drone or each helicopter or each vehicle is different. And then they have the tanks, okay? And the tanks are really kind of cool. And let me tell you why. Because they have like these things on there, okay, for it fires like infrared, I guess. And when it hits the tank, like on the side of the tank or what have you, then what happens is it shuts down the tank for a few seconds or whatever, and then it takes 30 seconds to start up again. So it's kind of fun because it lets you know that you hit that tank, and it has stuff like that on it. I don't know how those work that much. I'm just going off the way I think that they work, because I've never had one of those. But I do know that it has that infrared on there. So when you hit it, it must shut down or something, is what I'm thinking. But those can be fun too, especially if you have like maybe 8 or 10 guys and you're playing in a park or something like that with all these tanks. And some of these tanks, guess what? You can get 4.5 hours of time on there. If they play for 4.5 hours of time, okay? So for 4.5 hours, you could be out like in this field or on the beach or what have you, and you could dig trenches and stuff like where they can ride up over the top, and you could have like miniature war games or whatever. It'd be kind of cool, you know? But with the submarines, airplanes, helicopters, drones, tanks, RC controlled cars, Jeeps, whatever you want to get, there's all kinds of stuff out there for you to get into, guys. And I'm just scratching the surface with the RC stuff, the ships, all that stuff. I mean, if you have a great place to go, a park nearby you or something that you can use, especially an open park. This park here, I couldn't fly a helicopter in if I wanted to. You know, maybe a small drone or something like that might be worth flying in here, in between the trees or something like that. But beyond that, no, I don't think I'd be flying the big helicopter that I just bought. But anyway, guys, God bless. I just want to talk about that today. I thought it'd be a fun subject, a little bit change of atmosphere for us on here. But anyway, guys, God bless. Take care.